Hello, everyone, and welcome to Battle of the Beasts All Generation episode number 42. I'm Adam, and today we got another battle with two beasts competing for a spot in round 5. Disclaimer: this will be a battle less than 20 minutes long, like most of my other ones, because I'm running out of storage space, which is a shame, so I'm going to need to sort that out later. So this will be the last battle I'll be doing in this recording session, evidently. So let's quickly get into the beasts. Representing Series 19, the Kingdom of Dragons, we have Strytor the Skeleton Dragon, the last beast standing. And representing the shrinking group of specials, we have Falkor the Coiled Terror, former semi-finalist in the Special Generation tournament. So with this matchup, it's actually kind of a good one. I actually like this matchup. Seems interesting, and it's kind of hard to predict who will win. But I have a rough idea. Battlefield's going to be a rocky terrain, by the way. Let's get to the stats. This beast forms himself out of a pile of bones right before Tom and Alina's eyes. He takes the form of a vast skeletal dragon glowing a hideous white against the night sky. Questers can see his fiery breath forming in his hollow belly, but are usually powerless to save themselves from his blasts. Age 301, power 282, magic level 188, fright factor 94, size 326. Powers and abilities: flight, fire manipulation and breath, disassembly and limited camouflage, resurrection and reformation, that's banned, reanimation, natural weaponry, and enhanced durability. Minions are reanimated skeletons, not going to be used, and weaknesses is incapacitation. Moving on to Falkor. This vast dark snake is one of the most ancient creatures ever to protect the kingdom, and a companion of Rufus, Avantia's first wizard. But when he is bewitched by Beric, the venomous beast poses a threat to the whole kingdom. Both his bite and his squeezing coils are killers. Age 432, power 283, magic level 168, fright factor 83, size 333. Powers and abilities: agile, enhanced agility, acidic saliva, constriction, enhanced durability, and tail whip. As he actually doesn't have a weaknesses page on the Beast Quest wiki, I can't give you that, and that was what I wrote down from when I last read this book, from what I remember. So with that, rocky terrain, let's get into this. As the chamber doors open, Strytor quickly bursts through the main exit and then quickly disassembles himself into a pile of bones scattered in the centre of the arena. As Falkor coils out, wrapping himself around the walls of the arena, he slithers into the middle of the arena and sees a pile of bones. He lifts up his tail and goes to smash down at it as the bones start to float and glow, and they form together to form Strytor, who lifts his claw up, grabs the tail, and slams it into the ground. Falkor, confused by this, whips the tail away from Strytor and then hisses at Strytor's face as Strytor roars back in his. Strytor builds up fire to shoot it point blank at Falkor's face. Falkor dodges it and uses his head and knocks Strytor's head to where the fire shoots out towards the wall. Poor spectators. Falkor then wraps his tail around Strytor's ribcage, being careful not to go inside of it, wrap it inside of him, and starts constricting. Strytor can feel a pain in his ribs as his ribs are starting to bend inwards, and Strytor uses his claws and scratches at the body of Falkor, which is wrapped around him, and goes to take flight, pulling Falkor up. Strytor then digs his claws into Falkor, where Falkor uncoils himself to try and get free, but Strytor keeps pulling Falkor up, and using all the strength, he lifts Falkor up and slams him downwards, letting go of him as he falls into the ground. Strytor shoots a jet of fire towards Falkor, and then soars down directly into Falkor, causing an explosion to happen as Strytor collides into Falkor. Strytor reanimates himself, staring down at Falkor. As Falkor gets up, swishes his head violently as acidic saliva starts to land everywhere, dissolving rocks, dissolving parts of Strytor where he roars in pain. Strytor chucks himself towards Falkor and just starts wrapping himself around Falkor as Falkor's wrapping himself around Strytor. Strytor was able to angle his head at the back of Falkor's neck and breathe fire directly onto it as Falkor uses his head and knocks it back into Strytor's head, knocking his aim off course, but at the cost of Falkor stabbing the back of his own neck with Strytor's horned nose, or horn at the end of his snout. Falkor roars in pain and uncoils himself away from Strytor as Strytor lets him go. Falkor then, angered, charges up towards Strytor. Strytor disassembles himself as Falkor goes right over him. Then Strytor reanimates himself to where he's built up with parts of Falkor's body inside of Strytor. Falkor turns around to see the mess that he is in and goes to slam down onto the bone to try and break himself free. But Strytor's building up fire inside of him. Falkor feels his heat, and as Strytor ejects it, fire burns through the entire inside of Falkor's body as it starts burning his innards, burning his innards almost entirely. Falkor, roaring in pain, lifts up his head and slams it down onto Strytor's mouth, piercing the skull. As Strytor roars in pain, the fire extinguishes, and Strytor disassembles himself, so Falkor gets away whilst he has the chance. It's quite slowly because of how injured he is from the inside. Strytor reanimates himself and sees cracks appearing all over his bones. Angered, he looks at Falkor, who seems to be puffing out smoke from his mouth. Strytor makes his way over to Falkor and, lifting up a claw, pins Falkor's head down to the ground. Falkor uses his tail to whip up towards Strytor, but Strytor uses his own tail and wraps it around Falkor's tail, slams that into the ground. Strytor, using his claws, digs his claws into the top of Falkor's head. Falkor's roaring in pain as smoke is still coming out from his mouth, but blood is now gushing out of his head. Strytor says to Falkor, saying, "It was a bad move let's try that again. You made a very bad decision at cracking my bones. If you wanted to kill me, you should have broke them, but no, you cracked them, and now you're gonna pay." Strytor bites down onto Falkor's head where his claws were, and he breathes fire on top of Falkor's head. Falkor, screeching in pain at the point blank flame coming into him. The spectators can see fire coming out of Falkor's mouth, but there's also fire going inside of Falkor's body as his insides continue to burn. Falkor writhing in pain, trying to get free, but Strytor has a very firm grip on Falkor to the point where Falkor can't escape. After a few minutes of struggle, Falkor's body just stops moving, and Strytor gets back up, looks at the work that he's done, breathes fire over the outside of Falkor's body until it's completely toasted, and using his tail, he lifts it up and smashes the body entirely. Strytor makes his way back to his chamber, satisfied with this victory. So that's Strytor's won, Falkor's lost. If you think Falkor should have won, please some comments below. Think about how my worst final and Strytor's moving on to the next round. Just gonna say, quick fight, I know, sorry about that. But I think Strytor, I believe, just had a higher chance in winning, which made this fight interesting because it's a really good dragon versus the semi-finalists of the Specials Generation tournament. However, the victory went to Strytor because Strytor's ability to reanimate himself is a bit overpowered. and being able to work his way around Falkor, being able to predict said moves, but also get out of sticky situations that he finds himself in and gets himself in some cases, I think is clever. Plus, thank you to Lucas for the idea of having Strytor form himself inside, well, around Falkor's body. You did word it in a different way, but I don't see how Falkor would accidentally go inside of Strytor, so I worded it like that to make more sense of it possibly happening. And I think it was a great idea. Brilliant, actually. I think that's what solidified Falkor's fate in that battle. But yes, quick episode, but unfortunately, I see this being a quick fight. I need to get my storage problems fixed because I'm wanting to get one more battle done. But if I don't, that's okay. I just need to figure out. I'll just do them tomorrow. But that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the notification bell down the corner below. Until then, peace out.